Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to the Ted Show. This is our series, Heroes Always Welcome. It's Warrior Wednesday. We're here with Robert Lynn, who is CEO of Future Home Loans, also a veteran. And we have Eileen Winfrey, an old friend to the Ted Show. She's not old, but she's an old friend. I have to clarify that for sure.
Thank you for
Sorry,
clarifying.
she
Thank
is.
you.
Careful, Ted.
Yeah,
Yes,
I gotta be super careful.
I'm younger than Ted. So,
I know, it's crazy. But she is also, who would think? No, you are definitely younger than me. She is also a veteran, a realtor. She's been active in the community for a very long time. And so I'm very excited to talk about all things veterans, real estate, VA loans, what we do in the community, and all of the good stuff that Future Home Loans and veteran realtors like Eileen do. So welcome to you both. How are you today?
Thank you.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Guys look good. Rob's lighting's definitely better than ours. I got to figure this out. We're in a room that's a little dark behind us.
It's dark in the background.
Eileen's
look like a vampire.
No, you do not. Your light is so bright, Eileen. So we're going to...
Vampire lady.
Well, the storm knocked a bunch of stuff out of my tree right here. So I got
light.
A lot more than they used to have.
All right, so let's do ladies first. Eileen, you know we love intros here. Anybody who's watched the TED Show has seen you over the years. But for those people who might be living under a rock, tell them a little bit about you.
Let's see. So my name's Eileen Winfrey, as Ted said, and I am a veteran. I was in the Air Force. What else can I tell you about myself? I've actually been a real estate agent and a broker for 25 years. So I am dating myself now.
You were 12.
Yes, I was. So I'm excited to be here today with Ted and Rob because we've chatted a lot about, of course, Rob's also a veteran, and so many agents in town, and I think just nationally, they just haven't had the education on VA loans, and that these are such solid buyers. It has nothing to do with the 0% down. That 0% was because the veteran earned that.
Yes, the earned part.
They earned it. They earned it. So that's a little bit about what we want to talk about. Just getting that education out there.
And thank you for your service. I love to say that. I hope you guys take it in the way that it's meant, heartfelt. Rob, tell us about you for people who don't know who Robert Lynn is.
Sure. Robert Lynn, founder of Future Home Loans about 5 years ago, U.S. Army veteran. I jumped out some of the Air Force's finest equipment back in the day. I fall pretty fast when I jump out, but I always appreciated the ride. I really like it when I got the land, though.
There you go.
What Eileen said was exactly right. It is the best loan in the business, for a multitude of reasons we can get into as we talk about it. But, anybody shying away from a VA loan right now in the state of Florida, I just got a question. Where do you think your business is going to come from over? It's, the military is always moving. They're moving 2 or 3 times.
Yes,
in a short period, they're upgrading. They're having, their families growing. It's just they refer their friends or colleagues. It's the best base of business, best clientele you can deal with, and for that reason, they do get preyed upon a lot. And there's a lot of lenders that do, and I say target the veteran as opposed to serve the veteran.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's our mission, is to kind of expose that and talk about all the positive things of the loan and to help the veteran ultimately get that home.
So let's do that. Let's talk about it. Let's take a deep dive. I think I've said it on the show before many times. You have to fight sometimes to get a VA loan to even be looked at when an offer is put in. So let's highlight the positives, Rob, from our perspective on the lender side. What are the positives? What are the things that realtors should know about a loan that maybe they don't know, which is why they're not even looking at those when the offer comes?
Yes.
So, one of the big misconceptions is about the appraisal process. It's actually the quickest turn time that we have. A veteran, a VA appraisal will get back to us sometime within days. It is an opportunity that when a value comes in low, we have a Tidewater initiative is a program that the appraiser actually has to reach out to us, the lender. Now, what they generally do is reach out to a 1-800 number at a lender that doesn't get answered. With us, it goes directly to we got a mailbox that goes to, and all of our executives see it. So we jump on that immediately, and we can provide comps to overturn that. And then if that doesn't go well, then we can also take it to the VA and ask for a reconsideration there. So that's 2 different shots at an appraisal that you don't get on a conventional loan.
That's true.
And that's one of the misconceptions, that it's a harder appraisal. It's not. All they're doing is making sure. Veterans tend to be a younger, less experienced home buying crew, was kind of how this was put out. The whole VA loan program was to give first-time home buyers that are veterans coming back from World War II the opportunity to participate in the American dream. So it does protect them a little bit from safety issues or things like that. But anybody that's listing a property right now, you probably want to put enough effort into that you're not going to have any concerns about an appraisal value. We were talking a little bit earlier about not having to put any money down. That's not a bad thing.
I know. It's not like the old days where there actually were loans that you didn't have to put anything down, and that was right before the crash. This is nothing like that.
Yeah. No, it's still. We have to prove all the funds. We have to access things, and we always counsel veterans to put some money down, because it's actually, if you educate the veteran to put a little money down, they tend to pay less on fees on the VA.
I think the majority of the VA loans that I've done, they have put money down, because they have money. And just like you were saying, so many people think it's like the young kids, that this is their first time home. And there's plenty of those out there too. Had plenty of folks that this was their 3rd, their 4th, their 5th home, and they're moving now down to Florida, and they're retiring here, and they're not in the military, but I have a bunch of them that still work for the government, and they're using their VA benefits, which is a great thing that they have those. And so it's up to them. Put 0 down. Some of them put $100,000 down because they have that ability at this point. And I think a lot of the agents that are looking at multiple offers, which we still actually have coming in, they're not really looking into who is this borrower.
That's correct. And I think that one of the things that we do, or I've done in the past, is if we have a VA loan, letting the listing agent know the positives and explaining the scenario. I think there's nothing more honorable than military service and such a sacrifice. So this one benefit, this big benefit that they are able to tap into, I would love to see that rewarded more often.
Yes, absolutely.
And I don't know why we choose other types of loans. Look, I get it during the boom when you had 40 offers, $20,000 over cash. It's a little hard to fight against that, but we're in a much more normalized, for lack of a better word, market.
Absolutely.
And so I want you to take a look at those loans, and I want you to educate yourself on those. Our veterans are some of the most stable borrowers you will ever find.
Yeah.
It's just an amazing thing to be able to see them get into a home utilizing that benefit that they get because of their service.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. They showed up for work every day. I mean, that's important.
Early in the morning.
We had to get up and do our PT, Eileen. We were out there running.
Exactly.
What about both of you are very, all of us are active in giving back to our veteran and active military communities. Talk about some of that, Rob, some of the stuff that we do at Future Home Loans.
Yeah, we're involved with, what I say up here in North Florida and what we're going to grow throughout the whole state of Florida is we are the veteran community. We've got over a dozen veterans that work with us here at Future Home Loans in a bunch of different capacities. A bunch of loan officers that are veterans, and we're in the events. We're in the, we do a USO Feed the Veterans once a month here up here. And we just last month brought in a military legend to do a speech about discipline and self-motivation and how do we give back? And we had a 1,000+ seat arena that we got almost filled up with that, and we are the community, and we put our money where our mouth is, and we live here local, and we work here local, and we work hard local, and we want to support our local veteran community.
How about you, Eileen? I know you give back. You quietly give back. I know you go to every event I invite you to, so kudos for that.
Yes, I do.
Event, especially.
I do go. I try to go. I am not the gal that talks about my service all the time. I'm usually like, oh yeah, I did that. That's part of me. But I'm more, I'm not your 20 or 30-year person, but I have so many relatives, friends, clients who are those people. And the other ones who serve 2 and 4 years. I mean, everybody needs to be appreciated for actually, serving our country. But I just really always want everybody to know that we are there for them. And we do want to educate more people. So we want to educate, the agents that are out there. Because the veterans, when they come to us, and they're like, what? I don't understand. Like, we put in 3 offers and none of those were accepted. That's just wrong. That's absolutely wrong. I understand what Ted was saying. We were in the heyday and I had plenty of offers on my listings, cash, 50,000 over. It was nuts. But that is not what's going on today. So we just want to be out there. And we want to let the veterans know that we do support them. We want to educate the community. We want to give them, a great lender like Future so that they know they were taken care of, that you understand a VA loan, because many people say they do and they don't.
Right. And, like you were saying that, it was highest and best, cash is king back. But also, you submit an offer with a big box lender, that's based out of a call center somewhere in California or Missouri, or you're going to go to the bottom of the list. It doesn't matter if you're a veteran or not. And I think that's a big challenge is really getting to the veteran community to work with a local lender that's built these relationships. Like Ted can have that conversation because he knows half of the entire realtor community in Orlando. He can call and get that offer to the top of the list.
Right.
But it's because he's local. It's because he's built that reputation of answering his phone. And that's with veterans or anybody in our game. If you're not dealing with somebody that's local, that's trusted, you're kind of throwing stuff against the wall to see what sticks with a blank pre-approval from somebody that doesn't really know what they're doing with a bad reputation that rarely closes on time.
Right, absolutely. And that's what's so nice about working with Ted and his team and Future is that they do pick up the phone and that they are going to call the listing agent. And half the time Ted's like, I know that person. When I say I just put this offer in, can you, whomever, Chris, Joe, Sally. And he's like, oh yeah, I know them. I'll give them a call. And it makes such a huge difference because when you have that relationship and he's local, I mean, he went to Colonial High School, people. It's crazy.
Rob's local too. He's just not here, but he grew up here.
Lake House, Silverhawks.
That's right.
Oh, I thought you grew up there in Jacksonville.
No, grew up here.
You grew up here.
92. I don't look at either, but class of 92.
Class of 92.
Oh
He's
my
a baby.
God. Okay, we don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, but he's local. He knows this market.
That's
really
great.
well.
I love that. Yeah. So, I mean, that's what you want. You want someone who can actually reach out, make that connection. I answer the phone to whomever calls me. That's what a realtor does. But I'm going to be more receptive when it's someone that you're like, oh, yeah, I know who Ted, I know who Future is, and you're going to listen to them and appreciate what they say. And then think twice about that. That sounds like a great borrower.
It also helps that we do on the TED show, especially, and me personally, we do so much. I do everything I can to support the military veteran community on different levels. It's not just VA rep. It's not just any kind of organization, Camaraderie Foundation, Wounded Warriors. We want to give back. And I think that the veteran community likes to do business with people who are either supportive of the veteran community or understand what you all went through. Doesn't matter if it's 2 years, 4 years, or 30 years. It's a different fraternity, sorority that I don't as a civilian know, but at least I can say that I support.
You support.
And I think that's super important. It's super important to give back. There's a lot of veterans out there, and I'll try to close it up. Eileen, one of the things I love to talk about is transitioning out. And I know that you talk about your service. It was, don't get me wrong. Have you ever seen a picture of her as a military, an MP? Because she was. Don't mess with Eileen Winfrey.
Rob will know the difference because everyone calls me an MP, but that is not what we were called in the Air Force. We were security police, but it's basically the same thing.
Yeah, so don't mess with her is the message.
Yes.
But I think veterans who are transitioning out is always a big topic that I hear about, and sure, it's hard to come out and deal with all of this civilian life where there isn't order and there isn't that I die for you kind of mentality. So how did you transition out? Was it difficult for you, Eileen?
For me, I am the total opposite of probably most of the people you'll talk to. Ted, it probably took you a couple of years to even know I was a vet, right?
Yeah, you told me like in secret. I couldn't tell anybody for like a year. I
am not that person. I don't like to talk about it all the time. You know, I'm just always there as the support system. The only people for the longest time I would tell were other veterans. You know, they would mention, like Rob would say, I'm looking for a house. So I used to be in the Army, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, really? What was your MO? This is what I did. And because you have that relationship. But for me, oh my goodness, I was young when I got in, when I got out. So I don't feel like it was as big a transition for me. I just immediately went into sales. That's just, I think, who I am.
Yep, I agree.
You know, but I do know a lot of people that they have a hard time. And it also depends on what they did in the service, where they served, you know. So those of us who know people that we were just talking to a friend of ours a couple of minutes ago, and his son-in-law is just coming back from Afghanistan, you know, totally different. Yeah, totally different situation. I mean, I was in Germany, and we had bombings going on all around us, you know, and we were working like 16-hour shifts. So, yeah, it was a little different coming back to the U.S.
Well, I think a lot of veterans just that transition back. You have a trust, a brotherhood, sisterhood that you can't really replicate 100% out in corporate America, so to speak. And so there's always that. That's why I love to support any kind of groups that are local that give back or give training or give education or try to help business owners or people who have ideas about business or are working in business, because it can be an interesting transition to come out. And for some people, it's incredibly difficult. All right, Eileen, tell them the best way they can find out if you want to buy or sell. You're interested in learning more about the real estate market. How can they reach you?
So again, I'm Eileen Winfrey. I'm a broker at the real estate store. My phone number is 407-615-0081, or you can look up my information on teamwinfrey.com. And I really do work mostly 99% by referral. So you can ask any of my past if they think that it's worth it to work with Eileen Winfrey, and I think they'll tell you it is.
Wonderful. And Robert Lynn is our CEO, but he's just as wonderful and accessible. You can find him anywhere on social media. He had a rough weekend, though. The Jags did not win. Oh. I'm so sorry. I saw that. I don't even follow, but now I do for you. So it
was my birthday Friday.
Oh, happy birthday.
And my Florida State Seminoles lose on Saturday, and my Jags lose on Sunday. So I'm like, what's up?
You got to have a better week.
Yeah, it was a rough weekend.
48 left for me the whole year. Come on.
Well, they'll make it up to you. I have no doubt in my mind, but I appreciate you coming on every week, Rob. It's so important to get that perspective and to talk a little deeper into product than Ted Bogert can talk on a daily basis. So I appreciate you both so much. Look, if you're a veteran and you haven't used your benefit, you're getting ready to buy, you want to talk about refi, there's all sorts of things that you can do with your benefit. And we want you to utilize it. And we want you to know that we're here to support you in that. And if you have a veteran business and you want to be on the show and you want to talk more about what you do, we'd love to have you as well, because it's not just about real estate. Any heroes welcome as far as I'm concerned. And I know both of you don't like that title, but that is the title of the show. I think of both. Eileen said the same thing that you did, Rob. But to me, it's, you know, for a civilian, for somebody like me, it's a big sacrifice. So I think of you guys as heroes in my book. All right. Reach out to us anytime. My website's scrolling across the bottom too. We'd love to help you and support you. Thank you both for being on the show. We'll be back next week. Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate it. All right. Bye, everybody.